Hey guys, I am back. Welcome to the first budget-friendly Friday video. So as I had said in the announcement that I was going to be doing this video series, we are going to be spending every Friday looking at some of my favorite budget-friendly knives that are still out there, that are still available, that I think are worthy of putting in your pocket and carrying around, and doing so at a decent price, at a good value for what you're spending. Now, these are all based on my opinion. Your opinion may vary. You may not agree. If you don't agree with me, go ahead, put it in the comments. What do you think I am missing? What do you think I got wrong? Why don't you like it? But if you missed that video where I explained kind of how we're going to go about this, I'll put a link right here. You can click on it. It's a short video. It just basically explains how the system that we're doing here. So for the very first budget-friendly Friday, we are going with a Category 2 knife. Category 2, sub $50, over $25, but sub 50, and it's the Cold Steel Bushman. Now, this knife has seen a little bit of a reinsurgence lately. Reinsurgence? Did I say resurgence or reinsurgence? I don't know, but I meant resurgence. When I was looking it up, I saw a lot of review videos dated just in 2024. And this knife I first messed with in 2018. I did a whole in the shop remodeling of it. I said, I don't like the plain cold metal look of it. We're going to Cerakote it and change it up. I don't know if you can do 2 video cards in one video. If I can, there'll be another link over here so you can check that out. If not, go to my channel, go to the videos and type Bushman and you'll see the video come up and you can see it if you want. What I do like about this knife is that it's a very, very simple knife. So you've got a stainless steel blade. We'll talk about the steel in a minute, okay? You've got a stainless steel cold rolled and pressed frame. You've got a large lock bar, and that's basically it. It is a very simple knife. I'm not a big fan of the clip. We'll get there too. It's a big knife. It's meant to be an outdoors knife. It's got a really nice stonewash finish on the blade, just so you can see that. Does it say? It does have markings. It's made in Taiwan. Okay, so, and understand also, a lot of these more budget-friendly knives, we're not going to find made in the USA, because being made in the USA comes with usually a higher price because of the price of production in the USA. It's just what it is. Even though it's kind of a small, slim knife, it's a hefty knife to use. It's got a great lock system. Cold Steel, I'm very hit or miss with their designs, but I have to say they do great locking systems to make a very secure lock on a lot of their knives. If you take a look, if you can see all through here, this lock bar, and it's a very strong, solid piece of steel lock bar. Let's see if we can, I'm not sure if I can hold it on camera and pull it so you can see it disengage. It's a little hard to do just from that angle there. I tried. That lock bar engages all the way up the spine of this knife. So when it locks really solid. I mean, really, really solid. I'm just trying to get you to see that a little bit. You can see it a little bit. So it's a very solid locking system. If you're going to take this knife outdoors with you and do some of that heavy type work, or if you're just going to use it in an indoor setting, whatever. A couple things I don't like about it. Number one, this is not the most comfortable feel in the world. It's just not. And if you're doing any kind of prolonged work with it, that could start to make some serious hot spots on your fingers, unless you're wearing gloves, and then it's no problem. It's kind of a slim hold there, if that's a thing that bothers you. I like a little bit of a wider hold on a knife so I can really feel like I've got a good grip. And you can see they bulged out the center there to kind of help fill out the palm of your hand a little bit better. And there's no way, this is not going to be a one-handed unlocking knife. You're even just using this alone, actually this one's not too bad. You cannot just unlock this with one hand. So it's definitely a two-hand closing knife. It comes with this 550 cord lanyard to help you get leverage on that lock bar and pull it closed. Other than that, what you see is what you get. The blade on this, is 4116 stainless. So that's a German steel. And some people don't like this steel at all. It's not a high-end steel. We're talking budget-friendly knives. It's a very middle-of-the-road steel. What it does is it provides you a pretty decent corrosion resistance. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad in that area. They use this steel a lot for kitchen utensils, for kitchen knives, for like food processing type blades and everything because of its corrosion resistance. It can hold an edge decent. It's not great. But on the other hand, it's very easy to put that edge back on. And those are always like two opposite things. A knife that's going to hold an edge very, very well for you is going to be harder to maintain and sharpen again later. But a knife that, you know, doesn't hold an edge as well, you're going to be able to sharpen it up and hone that edge easier than some of those harder super steels. I'm not trying to say that it doesn't hold an edge. I'm not trying to say it's really crappy in that respect. But I'm saying there are steels that do hold an edge much better. So Rockwell hardness is usually between 55 and 57, so nothing cosmic there. Sometimes people compare this to, you know, an 8CR13 or a VG10. I'm not saying one for one. I'm saying in terms of, you know, price and the quality of knives they go on. I'm just giving you that. It, in all honesty, is probably chemically, molecularly, it's closer to a 5CR MOV. But again, budget-friendly knife. I don't like 5CR very much. I mean, that's not something that I'm really big on. But, you know, the thing is, it's got a 13 to 15% chromium content, which really aids in that corrosion resistance. And that's the big thing about this knife. This blade will get it wet, forget to wipe it down right away, keep it, you know, in a moist environment, whatever, and you're not so much worried about that. So that's really, this is primarily, you're looking at this blade for its corrosion resistance and your lack of having to run around and give it that kind of care right away over a knife where you really, really need a very hard edge and edge retention. So that's kind of the trade-off. But why do I like it as a budget-friendly knife? Number one, because it does offer you a blade, I think it's about 4.5 inches, 4.25 inches. I'll have put it in text for you. It does give you a relatively thick blade stock, so you've got really good support if you are going to take it outdoors. And I mean, that's really what they designed it for, what they intended it to do, your outdoor tasks. You can, I know we should never baton with a knife. I mean, that's, people will tell you over and over, that's not what it's for. But it's got surface to do. It's not a real firm 90-degree edge. I mean, it's a 90-degree edge, but you can take a Dremel and just run 1 or 2 passes over that, and you've got a perfect striking edge for your ferro rods right there. Over here, it's kind of hard to tell. You can feel it. It's not exactly a perfect 90-degree edge, but you can make it that really easy. Because it's just all simple construction, if you wanted to disassemble this for like total cleaning, it's a piece of cake to do. I've done it before. It's basically a screw for the pivot, it's a screw for the lock, and a spring in there. And once you take the blade out, the lock bar comes right out, and it's relatively easy to reassemble again later. So if you do really need to get in there and clean stuff out, it's not a problem. One thing, again, bouncing back and forth, the good and the bad, there are some very tight tolerances in this knife. And this is kind of surprising that they would do this with an outdoor knife, because a knife that you use outdoors is likely to get dirty and grimy. And because of the very tight tolerances in this knife, dirt and grime that get in there are really going to affect its operability. There's not a lot of room. And if you want to think about it like this, the M16 M4 versus the AK-47. The reason the AK-47 you can throw in the mud, pick it up, and pull the trigger and shoot is because it's built with loose tolerances on purpose, so that the machine parts can move around when there's crap in there. Whereas the M16 and the M4 are much more finely tuned, more accurate, more mechanically reliable machines, but if you don't keep them clean, they will jam up on you. And so, you know, what's more important to you? Your your accuracy and your reliability in terms of operation, or just having something that you can pick up and use. It might not be exactly as accurate as you want, but you know, it doesn't jam. Same thing with a knife like this. So you definitely need to keep this thing clean if you're going to take it outdoors. You've got bronze washers in there, which I love. I know that we're in an era where bearings, which used to like add $100 to the cost of a knife, are commonplace now. But there is a smoothness that you get with bronze washers that you don't get with bearings. Bearings, if you know, you know. There's just like a smooth feeling with washers that I love when they're done right. And they're done right on this knife. They really are. I know that you see me disengaging the lock with my thumb in the choil here. Some people might be worried, well, are you going to cut yourself? Or just with the way that this works, the way the lock disengages and the resistance, it's not a drop shutty knife. You need to actually give it some force. So no, you're not worried about accidentally cutting yourself. Not at all. I remember when I first did the video on this, and it got kind of popular, and then it wasn't, and then it was again. People were saying, hey, I can't find one of those online. Can you find me one? I guess they disappeared for a while, but Cold Steel brought them back, and that's why, like I said, there's been a little resurgence of them in the latter part of last year. Out of the box, and this one is brand new out of the box. I had it sitting at the shop for a while. I just never really got around to doing anything with it. Out of the box, though, you can see it is super sharp. Your blade is ready to go and perform as soon as you get it home and take it out. Less than $40. I mean, the MSRP on Cold Steel's website is one thing, but I have managed to find this for about $30. Definitely less than $40 everywhere I looked. And I will include a link to the least expensive site that I found it on as of recording this video in the video description if you're interested. Not affiliate or anything like that, just, because we're doing budget-friendly stuff. So just keep in mind that by the time you watch this video, it might have changed. So it might be worth just doing a quick Google search to see what you can find. Anyway, that is our budget-friendly Friday on the Cold Steel Bushman. Definitely a knife that I like. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? The clip. One thing I really don't like. It's a small clip. It's a very, very... that clip is tight. It is really tight. And if you look, some people like this. I don't. If this is in your pocket, look at how much of this knife sticks out of your pocket. That's basically where it's going to go. The one that I redid in the shop, I threw a bigger clip on, and I put it kind of higher. I actually tapped it for different screws and put it more towards the top. If I could find an aftermarket deep carry clip for this knife, and I checked it looks like Benchmade clips would work here, but the screw spacing it's just off a little bit, I would love it. So one thing that I don't like, and this clip, it's a steel clip. Everything on this knife is steel. This thing is so tight, needs to break in a little bit. But anyway, Cold Steel Pocket Bushman, Category 2, budget-friendly knife. The first one in our budget-friendly Friday series. I like it. Definitely would go in my pocket. Situational dependent. I might not EDC it, but for a hike out in the woods, quick camping trip, stuff like that, absolutely something that I would recommend and carry. What do you guys think? Is it something that you're interested in picking up? Is it something that you would carry? Do you not like it for some reason? What do you like about this knife, or what don't you like about it? So let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks for spending some more time with me. I really appreciate it. Your time is your most valuable resource, and it's one that you can never replenish or get back, so it means a lot. Remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome, and I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll be back again real soon.